Broadcasting live from the LoadingReadyRun orbiting underground moon base, it's the LRRcast.
You know, you say the same thing every week. Why don't you just reuse that?
Because I say it slightly differently every week.
I think
That was much more slightly differently.
Yeah.
You should try just like broadcasting live.
And then do the rest of it really, really quickly.
Yeah.
Broadcasting live. It's the LRRcast.
Slow down at the end again then.
Yeah, it's the LRRcast.
Does anybody else get those weird... Wait, hold on. Does anybody else get those weird auditory like hallucinations where things just slow the like down really slowly randomly?
No.
Because they freak the hell out of me, and I don't like that. I don't like it when like music slows down dramatically in tempo because I'm like, ugh.
I used
Is
to
this real
That
life?
sounds awful. I don't think that happens.
I used to have a Walkman back in the day when things were cool like that.
Walkman.
That would do the thing where when it was running low on batteries, it would just start running slower.
Yes.
Oh, God.
And so you'd be like, this doesn't sound quite right. But it
Am I
would do
having a
it.
stroke?
It would do it really gradually though, right? So it would be just like, this is starting to sound kind of weird.
in the video, actually, real quick, it's the LoadingReadyRun.com podcast. I'm Graham here with.
Doot 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 doot. With me, Kathleen, with my own fanfare now.
Cool. And
I'm Paul.
And I'm James.
cool.
And you told me my fanfare wouldn't make it to the episode.
Well, I said we weren't doing it. Okay, in the video, it's like season 1 or 2, the Canadian Inventors one.
I believe that was the season
first
1 special.
Canada Day. Yeah. So it may not even be online, but there's a bit at the end of the video, because a Canadian invented the gramophone, and so we're using my mom's gramophone, which she has, with this old foxtrot song that I really like, which was "Tain't No Sin," and I was
Taint? Whoa.
yes,
Yeah.
T''ain't.
All right.
Yeah, it
Because-
was some pretty hardcore stuff back then.
If it's getting too hot for comfort and you can't find ice cream cones, tain't no sin to take off your skin and dance around in your bones.
I always wonder whether
That is
that's like,
freaky.
Yeah.
is that how people sung back then, or is it something about the recording process that makes everybody have
Sound like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, but at the end of the video, there's a shot of the fireworks with the thing running down, and that is just the gramophone, just like. I
don't like it.
Creepy.
Don't like it.
So that just happens to you naturally?
Every once in a while, not like once a week or anything like that.
That is weird though.
Yeah, when I was a little kid, the first time it happened, I don't know, like 3 or 4, and it's visually etched into my memory because I was watching like some curtains sway back and forth in our living room, and all of a sudden, like just everything went, and then sped back up to
Now,
regular speed.
were you on acid at the time?
No, I was like
All right.
So but
very
does
young.
Were you getting incepted?
The visuals
Yes.
the visuals slow down too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's super cool. You could be like,
No.
you're like doing the Matrix
Yeah,
thing.
you get your own
Weird.
Matrix time.
Yeah, so like somebody shoots you with your bullet and it goes.
And you'd be like, oh, I can dodge out of the way.
No, and then it kills me.
Oh.
Because, just
just
because it
have
slows
long-
down doesn't mean my reflexes have
You have
sped
longer
up.
time to see it about to kill you. Though.
Yeah, that's great. No, like, this happens like once every couple of years.
Huh.
But it's freaky as balls.
It
I'm sure
sounds freaky
I'm
as
sure this
balls.
happens to other people.
Probably. I'm sure with the number of people who listen to the podcast, I'm sure at least 1 or 2 of them are going to be like, holy crap, that thing. So we'll
Alright.
watch for it in the comments, I guess.
Do you have any other questions for me?
Well, we have many questions later in the podcast that were posted onto our Facebook. But first, Paul's going to tell us a little bit about Enlightenment Gear, because we do not have a loading time for this episode.
With our good friend Mark Saussman, which I think we did a loading time for Gears Gear.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. But anyway, there's a guy who does one of the like pre-movie clips in this area. I don't know quite how far.
It's Canada-wide.
Is it Canada-wide?
It's in all the Cineplex theaters.
Yeah. Anyway, his name is Mark Saltzman, and he does the Gear Guide.
He's kind of a tool.
And He's one. Well,
He doesn't seem like kind of a tool, but he's just
he
like
does a good job. He does what he does okay with what he's got, but his job is to be excited about all the new gadgets.
And his
that
job
everyone,
is
that
job is
nobody
to
likes.
talk to the average consumer, not us.
Right.
Right.
And also, the gear guide is not. They are not reviews. They are ads.
Right.
Yes, they
It's just
absolutely
like,
are.
It's
There's
but
this amazing-
presented. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, look at this amazing new Samsung phone. Here's all the features it has.
And then
Yeah.
off shot, there's a big Samsung exec handing over a big bag of money, being like, "Thank you, thank you, thank you."
Yeah. So anyway, the Mark Sauceman character isn't actually making fun of him in the sense that I'm not actually like emulating his, and like the shirt I'm wearing is
totally
like,
unrelated.
It's totally unrelated. I just thought it was a funny name.
Wait. Trivia time. Where did we get that shirt that you wear as the Mark Sauceman shirt?
Oh, yes. That's the shirt from The Trouble with Scribbles.
Yeah. And that shirt actually has blue paint all over it.
Yeah.
That has hardened and is rather uncomfortable to wear actually, because the paint has actually soaked through the shirt, and so there's like weird paint on the inside, and
Scratchy.
it just feels weird and wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm worried that if I like sweat too much, my chest will turn blue.
That'd be awesome.
It's the one that Morgan was wearing that we covered in paint. Was he covered in paint?
Yes.
Or was he wearing it when we covered it in paint?
I believe he was.
I think so.
Yeah. That was the idea, is that we
Right.
gave him that shirt so his own shirt wasn't covered in paint.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, that video was probably 3 or 4 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
At least.
And so the paint on the shirt is getting a little bit cracked and stuff. So I don't know.
We have to make a new one.
We have to find an alternative for Mark Sauceman.
I did take a picture of the shirt and create a vector pattern of that design.
Yeah, that's right.
So if we ever wanted to offer the Mark Sauceman T-shirt,
Ooh.
I don't think people want the Mark Sauceman T-shirt.
they
never
might.
know.
If you want the
I
Mark
think
Sauceman
it's a cool
T-shirt,
design.
send us a letter to
Do not send us letters.
Sauceman
Do
on
not-
my
just-
nipples.
just
care of Loading
We
Ready
have
Run.
a forum for this
Post
thing.
in the forum.
Look, how am I supposed to do
We have
stupid address jokes, Graham?
We literally have a forum for this.
Graham,
in that it is a
you
forum.
are robbing me from my ability to do dumb address jokes every time.
You're gonna give the address as like London W1 though.
Well, I always just say at like care of LoadingReadyRun.com, but then I don't get to say like Sauceman on my nipples, right?
It should be sauce on my nips.
Anyway, so we had Mark Sauceman. The idea. So he was originally a character from ENN actually, and he had a show called Geargasm,
Geargasm.
which was sort of my version of Gear Guide, and he would always be talking to somebody who was pitching some sort of ridiculous video game thing. So there was like Blue Razor Disc, which was a Blu-ray the size of a laser disc. There was
Some sort of 3D thing, wasn't
yeah,
there?
there was 4D or 5D video game, or like fourth person video games or something.
Yeah.
Where it was like you control the game from the perspective of somebody watching you. It was very silly.
Now, did we do a normal Geargasm episode before Gears Gear?
No.
Okay, so he went right from ENN
To
to Gears
and
Gear.
so then I had a bunch of Gears Gear. I had a whole bunch of ideas that centered around silly things to do with cars.
Right.
And I was trying to figure out a way to sort of put them together. And I was like, oh, hey, I can bring back Mark Sauceman. And he can be a new, and actually when I was sort of thinking about this idea, I was like, this will be great. Mark Sauceman can be sort of like a semi-recurring character, but every time he has a different show.
Yeah.
Either he has many shows concurrently or his shows continually get canceled
And yet
because they're all
somehow-
terrible.
And yet inexplicably greenlit for new
and
series.
people keep giving him new
Yeah,
shows. Yeah.
yeah.
He is married to the daughter of the network executive.
And each show would be like either something gear or something gasm or gear something, or he'll be around there. So you did Gears Gear, and that was a car show. And then I had the idea for this one being Enlightenment Gear, which I was going to go with Enlightenment Gasm for a while, but then I figured people wouldn't remember that the original thing was Geargasm, and you wouldn't get that joke.
You'd have to have been, and I know that many of you did, but you'd have to have watched those 2 episodes of ENN specifically.
And remember them.
Yeah,
And
it was more. It
remember
was
them.
more than 2. It was a few, but yeah,
That's true.
It's a long walk for a short joke.
exactly.
It is, yeah.
Anyway,
I'm going to look up the wiki
so it was
history
Enlightenment Gear.
Mark
And so
Sussman.
what was kind of this one was actually structured differently. Like usually how the Mark Sussman stuff is Mark Sussman just sort of sits there and goes like, really, huh, and just the other person just does a whole bunch of really stupid stuff at.
Yeah, normally he's the straight man.
Yeah, normally he's the straight guy, and the other person just talks about some ridiculous thing, and he's like, but doesn't that cause you to explode? It's like, no, it's fine. Whereas in this one, I had this idea that basically the entire premise of the show is totally flawed. And so he's trying to make it work, and his guest is possibly wasn't informed about what the show would be about, and so it's basically just like the actual premise of the show is the joke as opposed to what's being pitched. So I actually was really happy with how it turned out. It turned out that Andy
did a great job.
Andy was in town, which is I like this as contrast to his
Papers, Please.
Papers, Please guy, which is like the exact opposite, like shouting all the time.
Yeah.
Whereas this guy's
and this is just him taking
very
it
serene.
very calmly.
And I was, some people in the forums mentioned it, and I was deliberately not doing the that the guy gets, the calm guy then eventually gets super angry, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't need to do that.
And you got a lot of the Buddhist information correct.
I hope so. Like I actually, when I posted this, like when I presented the script to the rest of the cast, I was like, if anybody knows anything more about Buddhism than I do, because I just got this off Wikipedia, then please tell me, because while I don't mind, it's like, making fun of, a religion or whatever isn't a big problem. I don't want to do it unintentionally.
Yeah, you don't want to do it out of ignorance.
like
if you're going to make fun of something, you want to be making
yeah,
fun
it's
of
like
it.
that's not the joke in the video, so I
Yeah.
don't want to just randomly have wrong information. So I hope I got most of it right. But it wasn't. I didn't like do anything that was offensive to Buddhists, but the guy who's Buddhist comes across quite well in it, I think.
And we need to look up the pronunciation for Gautama, because we knew about Siddhartha, but it's Siddhartha Gautama.
Gautama.
Yeah, which was tricky.
Yeah.
This is Mark Sussman's 5th appearance. Uber HD was the first Geargasm.
Right. That's the ridiculously high resolution.
Yeah, where you're talking to Dale about ridiculously high resolution. Then the future of storage media with our friend Dave and the Blue Razor disc, and then Geargasm 5, the perspectiving. The perspectiving, which was, I think, was the character played by James in that one?
No, it was by, I forget what his name. It was a guy we met at the Phillips Comedy Night.
Oh, Wes Lord? No.
Yeah.
Who was it? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. It was Wes Lord. And then Gear, and then Enlightenment Gear, which gave me an excuse, because this felt like the sort of show that would have it, to use the Papyrus font.
Yay!
Because I loathe Papyrus, but this seemed like the kind of show that would use Papyrus.
In fact, while Graham was doing this, he was just like, "Oh, what?" and like calling out from this room in the moon base, and I'm sitting in the other room like fucking around on my phone or whatever. And he's like, "Oh my goodness, what font should Enlightenment Gear use?" And I yell back, I'm like, "It seems like the kind of show that would use Papyrus." And Graham was like, "That is literally the font that I had chosen."
Yep, I was ahead of you on that.
It's gotta
Like,
be,
I think we're on the same wavelength.
gotta be Papyrus.
There is also a typo.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's Enlightenment Gear.
Which
Well, I
you
didn't spot.
Enlightenment.
most of the time you don't notice because people's heads are covering it.
I
But
didn't
in
spot
the
it.
It's so I like somebody in the comments was like, I didn't notice the typo because I was so angry at the Papyrus.
excellent.
Poor Papyrus.
Yeah, Papyrus gets a bad rap.
Papyrus needs to be retired.
Did you notice the?
It's one of those fonts that isn't actually that bad. It's just bad because it's used in a whole bunch of contexts.
Inappropriate
Yeah.
places.
One thing I added at the last minute was that the "What's in Your Bag" segment, because of the nature of the show Enlightenment Gear, right, where you're basically being paid by app companies, it felt like that segment of the show should have a sponsor, and so I put in that it was sponsored by Jack Plank's new dripping wet bag meal.
Yum.
Yeah, I guess
Are you dripping
I
wet, or
guess
is the meat
Jack
dripping
Jack
wet?
Plank is
No,
like
the bag is dripping wet.
it wasn't really intentional, but Jack Plank has sort of become the new yummy snack cake.
Yeah. Well, it's
I
just
know.
because I was imagining. Well,
Maybe- Maybe they're under like the same umbrella company.
Probably.
I'm just remembering when I went to Five Guys, and it's just like they put your burger in the bag, and then they just fill the rest of the bag with fries, and you take the bag, and you're like, I can almost see through it,
Yeah.
because it's a paper bag, and it just
But
gets
it's-
really greasy.
But it's so delicious.
so
Yeah.
good.
Five Guys is so good.
But their fries are like, you have to get through the bag of fries to
To
get
get to the
down to the
burger,
burger,
yeah.
and the fries are like fire. they are practically
Keep
engulfed
your burger
in flames.
warm.
That's why it's
Yeah.
called Five Guys. It's 5 guys worth of fries. that you get.
yeah.
Pretty much. All of a sudden, you get to make all sorts of jokes about like, I'm gonna go put 5 guys in my mouth.
Oh my God, 5 guys inside me.
Yep.
So the other thing with this is Mark Sossman doesn't wear or wears the orange glasses.
Which, according to the wiki, Jer once described in a LRRcast as douchey.
They are quite douchey.
They are.
And so
That
of
is
course,
just that is granular detail in the wiki.
Yeah.
of course, that means that I couldn't wear my normal glasses, and I, as I'm sure I've mentioned before, I have very, very strong glasses, which meant that I couldn't actually read like a teleprompter. So for like the section where I'm like trying to guess what's in his bag, and the part like the trying to guess what's in his bag wasn't that bad. It's the like end bit,
Like the sign off.
the sign off bit. I apologize to Andy because he had to keep doing his like little teeny bit, and then I had to do mine. It took so long, so it's just sometimes I don't have that great a memory, and sometimes it's very difficult. I don't know. I have to figure out some sort of, because it doesn't matter how big the text on the teleprompter is. I can't see it without my glasses.
Yeah, I like that someone was like, "Oh, I can see the script reflected in his glasses." No, that's just a light.
Yeah.
Yeah. The script doesn't glow.
yeah. I'd be concerned if it did.
Yeah.
Actually, I thought like the light. We often try to, like when we're doing green screening stuff, we try to avoid the light being reflected in the glasses. But I actually quite like it, and like it sort of adds the kind of high tech
Mm-hmm.
flair, which is of course entirely inappropriate for his show.
Yeah.
And as people probably guessed, the part of the joke with the Enlightenment Gear thing is that the intro and like the music and stuff is the same regardless of what show he's doing.
Yeah. And we also did all the green screen shooting, and then we went out to shoot the intro with Paul sort of in like a more sort of relaxing kind of nature setting, and we haven't quite determined what happened.
No, I guess I just didn't hit the record
Yeah,
button.
either James didn't hit record or the file got lost. Probably James's fault.
No, I just didn't hit record.
But we didn't.
Mistakes were made.
We
I
did
was
just
distracted
saying.
by squirrels.
Yeah, we didn't get the audio for that part. So then you
You
may
were
have,
distracted by squirrels, and yet you didn't even record the squirrel.
I was too busy being distracted by squirrels.
you may have heard us mention on the Kickstarter countdown live stream that we had just come from doing a reshoot, which was we shot that and then came right back to the office and did the live stream. If you want to watch the replay of that, by the way, it's up on our YouTube channel. So check that out.
Check
Is
it
it
out.
actually on the site too? Or is it
Yep.
just on the
No, it's just on the YouTube
Check
channel.
it.
It's
It's
not.
just on the YouTube.
It's not linked. It's no.
I could put it up in I should put it up in the archive as a bonus video.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
Anyway,
And I
Any
think
hoot.
that's it for Enlightenment Gear. It was it was a lot of fun.
speaking of the Kickstarter, it funded,
Hooray! Thank you guys
which
so
is
much.
amazeballs. We're thrilled about that. We've been super excited. We've been we're planning stuff earlier today for prepping for 2014.
We're like, oh crap! Now we have to actually give people a bunch of stuff.
yeah.
So if you
We
were
weren't planning on this.
if you were one of the 2,253 people that backed our Kickstarter, thank you so
Yay.
much. Second of all, you may have some questions. James has those answers, so I'm going to lob some questions at James. James, when do I get my stuff?
When it's damn well ready.
No,
Cool.
What did
That's
real,
not the answer.
No, real answer.
The real answer is early next year.
Yeah. We're going to print all the t-shirts and pins and posters and stuff. You'll probably be hearing from us soon, trying to get like a gauge on like how many pins and posters and t-shirts there are, because people could have done them through add-ons, and what sizes you want, and then you probably won't hear too much. And then we're going to print everything, and we're going to start sending out like the digital rewards in January, and the physical rewards, depending on when they're finished, should start arriving in February. Longer for the creepy dolls because Tally has to make them.
Correct.
As we said, actually on the Kickstarter page, the T-shirts will be available in both men's and ladies' sizes.
Mm-hmm.
In probably doing the American Apparel
for the ladies'
Yeah.
shirts.
What are they
they're-
called? Soft style?
Because they're long. No,
Yeah.
that's Gildan
Oh,
soft
so
style.
sorry.
It's
Yeah.
American
Yeah.
Apparel ladies because they're longer in the torso.
Yeah,
Which all the ladies that we talk to
the
prefer.
Gildan lady shirts are so like I have a short torso, and the Gildan lady shirts are like just long enough for me, so I can't like put them in the dryer or anything
Do you
like
want
that
the
ever.
barest hint of midriff? Try
No.
Gildan Ladies Soft Style.
No,
Okay, so-
I want a T-shirt that covers all of my body.
Oh, then
Or
you
at least
don't
all
want.
all of my torso.
Then you don't want Gildan Ladies Soft Style.
All right. So we'll be sending out a thing to ask you your sizes and your address and all that good stuff.
James, when do I get to see you hit by a tennis ball?
Wow, when you're hit by a tennis ball. Well, there's no definitive date on that, but we will be aiming also for early next year.
Yeah, I mean,
Basically,
ostensibly, not all that thing, like all those things have to be fulfilled within 2014. But we're gonna try to.
we want to spread some of stuff out.
Yeah,
we don't want to.
but we want to try to do those things sooner than later. It's not going to be like this time next year. Be like, boy, we should probably do those tennis balls, huh?
I mean, we already bought the tennis balls.
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
Yeah,
Oh.
they're like sitting there in our
And
basement. We gotta do it.
and regardless of whether you bought in for that tier or not, you'll be able to see that video.
Yes,
it's gonna
that will not be a private video.
No, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, James. When does the streaming thing start?
The streaming thing starts in January.
Yeah, because we gotta renovate.
That will probably happen sooner than most anything else, actually.
James, is there gonna be a schedule or something so I can know when to watch you stream?
Yes, there will be.
I think
Though it will also be
there
sort
will
of
be scheduled
hoc.
shows, and there will be whenever somebody feels like streaming.
Is that schedule gonna be up on your Twitch TV page so I can check it anytime I want?
No, it's going to be hidden in the bowels of the internet. Yes, it'll be on the Twitch TV.
It'll be behind a door that says "Beware of Panther."
No, beware of Jaguar.
Beware of Panther.
Beware of the Jaguar down behind a locked door. No, in a disused lavatory behind a locked door at the bottom of a. No, it's disused.
Is this something from Hitchhiker's Guide?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
This is where the
in
planning
a disused
office is.
lavatory down the bottom.
You'll get there. It's okay. You keep thinking about that.
Anyway,
But
I
for
think
now,
I'd like to get some points for trying.
some other. Okay, you get 5 points.
Should we answer questions
Do
that,
do 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 do.
that these people have asked us?
I was thinking, instead of Kathleen's questions, let's answer
I
your.
think those were good facsimiles
questions.
of
All right.
actual questions.
Here we go. Are you ready?
Yes, do it up.
First
Do
question.
do 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 do.
Michael would like to say, I've had a bad week. Can you tell me your favorite joke?
My favorite joke.
I can tell you a stupid joke, but not my favorite joke, because I don't
Yeah.
even really have a favorite joke.
Yeah.
your favorite joke is not
Here we
tolerable,
go.
is it?
Two antennas met on the roof. They fell in love. They got married. The ceremony was okay, but the reception was fantastic.
Oh.
You're welcome.
I like that one.
Jokes. The first joke that comes to mind is my mom's favorite joke, which is, what do you get if you cross the Atlantic with the Titanic? About halfway.
Ah.
I like. There was.
Yeah.
There was a.
That's one of those ones that you probably couldn't have told right after it. Yeah, you
had
gotta
to wait a little while.
Yeah, wait a little while.
There was a pair of jokes. James, what do you call a girl with no arms?
I don't know what.
Sarah.
Oh.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Well, not Sarah.
Well, not Sarah.
All right, I have some dirty jokes from Pop Bitch. They're not dirty, they're just rude. Pop Bitch, by the way, is a weekly UK celebrity gossip thing that you can. It's like an old newsletter. Like I've been signed up to this since like back in the days when I had a Hotmail account, and they send out the most awesome good bad jokes. Like they're all terrible. Here are some examples. Two residents in an old folks home are getting it on when the woman stops and says to the man, "I think I ought to warn you that I've got a cute angina." And he looks at her and says, "Yeah, your tits aren't bad either."
Ah.
Doodle-loo-doo-doodle-loo.
Next question.
You're getting cut off. All right.
We all said one joke.
All right. Robert says, have you thought of doing the Loading Ready Run, the LRRcast, live and streaming them?
We have actually
we
on a
thought
couple
about
occasions.
I don't really know if there's any benefit to doing that.
Yeah, like it's literally one button we would have to put. Like we're recording this on the exact same software we use to broadcast live, so it wouldn't be very
You're so
difficult.
close. You're tantalizingly close.
But
we want to be. I mean, a lot of people still listen to the podcast just audio only.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's a little sort of a different vibe. I mean, I'm sure we'll do just hanging out whatevers with the streaming, but we'll probably
Yeah.
also be playing games too.
Yeah,
Like like if we did do it live, we probably wouldn't do it. Like it seems weird to be doing it live, but not actually like interacting with the
See,
chat.
the benefit of doing something live is that you can have the interaction with the chat, but
I don't
that
think,
interaction with the chat won't really translate well to especially an audio only podcast like
Well, also
later down the road.
Yeah, and the downside also is like that first 50 minutes where we're just going to tell you some stories is weird because then we have to be either like interrupting those stories all the time to respond to the chat, which is
Exactly.
the ideal scenario, or we just ignore the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
It's a
you'll
little bit
get
weird.
enough of your live streaming
Yeah.
fixed next year.
Yes, you absolutely will. Andrew says, in Friday night videos, you tend to win packs with a respectable win-loss ratio. How does this compare to real life for each of you at your local F&M or just online or whatever?
Well, I guess we just don't show the parts where we're not doing that well.
Yeah, we
we
I don't know,
we
we're
do
all-
we do well when it's relevant to the plot.
we're all fairly respectable
Yeah, we're
Magic
fine.
players.
you
We're
guys,
not terrible.
you guys went 2-1 yesterday, right? You guys did pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
I usually do pretty well at Lady Planeswalkers.
I come first or second in my share of single elimination draft on Magic Online. Like I'm not clearing every draft like some people, but
You're not like going infinite or anything.
no, God no, dear Christ no. But like I can enter an 8-4 and win from time to time.
You're no Travis
I
Wu.
lose a lot more than
You're wearing a shirt all the time.
yeah. I lose more than I win still. In real life, mostly I just play the pre-releases, and I usually am decent enough to win some amount of packs, but not like.
I think our Friday night variations on us are better at the game than we are.
Definitely.
They
but
play
we
a lot
have
more
to
Magic
be.
than we do.
Yeah, they play a lot more Magic, and they would just have to be. I think a show where we just lose all the time would be very depressing.
Yeah.
Um,
Like I went to 3-2 at the Theros pre-release, so I won 2 packs.
I
so
went
that's fun.
1-4 at the real life Theros pre-release, but in Friday nights I went 5-0 because I was undefeated for plot reasons.
Yay!
Yay, plot reasons. All right. Jamie says, do you guys watch any esports? Yeah. Watch StarCraft. I watch League of Legends. That's about
I
it.
find
I mean,
it so difficult to watch League of Legends.
it can be. I only watch
Well,
like the super high level stuff.
So I've never played.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So-
well, I've never played League, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I never played any multiplayer online battle arena.
Yeah.
But I have a passing understanding of Dota from living with Bill and Morgan. And it's the problem with watching the high level League stuff is there's so much going on.
Yep.
There's so many heroes.
Yep.
And there's like 150 or something.
I don't know if there's that many, but there could be.
It-
I have no idea.
There's a
actually.
ludicrous number of heroes, and they all have their own, sets of powers and skills and everything. And it's really difficult to keep track of that. And I'd say a lot more so than StarCraft, the announcers don't do any service to people who don't already know the game. Like it's very difficult to break into watching League of Legends if you don't already know the game because they're not not casting for you.
No, and I mean
And
it's hard
And
to
I'm not saying they have to.
Yeah,
right?
it's a very different game because you have it's
Well, it's-
essentially a 10-player game where StarCraft is 1-on-1.
Yeah,
right?
but occasionally, like even in StarCraft casting, or to drop the E and use a real world analogy, even if you're watching a game of hockey or football, occasionally the announcer will say like, oh, he did that because this, and anyone who knows the game will be like,
yeah.
well, of course,
Like why that play was significant.
yeah, but that never happens when I'm watching League.
the other problem I sometimes have with League is just a facet of the game is that just the way they do particle effects in the game is that a big move like when there's like a bunch of people in one area, it just becomes a complete thing where you just have no idea what's going on.
Yeah,
That's
but I watch a lot of
for me
StarCraft too.
anyway.
That's about it.
All right. Jordan says, I finally had a taste of Victoria beer last week, and it got me thinking. Favorite Canadian beer? Favorite American beer?
Oy.
Favorite Canadian beer?
Canadian Bud
Well,
Light.
it's wintertime, so I'm just going to say Granville Winter.
There's so many.
It's very tasty.
So the Pacific Northwest especially, is a big fan of microbreweries. And so we drink like a lot of different, I shouldn't say a lot because we drink a lot. We drink a wide variety of stuff, right? Like, I'm trying to think, what have I had recently? The Vertical Winter Ale by, what is that, Tree?
Yeah.
James?
Is that
Tree?
Yeah,
that
but
makes the Vertical Winter Ale? Is that local?
no?
Where's that
It's from
from?
Vancouver or something, or like Whistler.
Hold on.
Anyway, the Granville Island.
Kelowna?
Okay, so the
It's from
Granville
the
Island Winter
province.
Ale, the Stanley Park wit beer I had recently when it was a little bit more summery.
Kelowna.
Okay, so it's from Kelowna. Like
It is very good. Though.
Phillips is our local
Biggest local brewery.
yeah, largest local brewery. Like they have a sort of a lager ale. It's like it's broadly a lager, but does taste very similar to what in the UK would be known as an ale, but it's served cold like a lager. And basically any restaurant in town will have, this particular one is called Blue Buck, and it's basically it's their standard beer, and basically any restaurant in town will have Blue Buck on tap. It's like our standard local beer. So I guess I'll go with that. Even though I won't ever buy Blue Buck to take home with me, but if I'm out somewhere and they're like, "Well, we have Blue Buck on tap," we're like, "All right, I'll have a Blue Buck."
Yeah, I like Driftwood's White Bark, which
Oh,
is a
so good.
delicious wheat beer, locally, I guess. That's made in Victoria. And American, I mean, like, I always drink
Youngling?
microbrews. No, I don't. Youngling is cheap,
It sure is cheap.
but and like you can't get it on the West Coast. So I haven't had it in years. But
Pliny the Elder.
ugh,
was
no,
really
too
good.
hoppy.
Really?
Yeah,
I
I
really
thought it was
liked it.
too
I don't
hoppy.
like hoppy stuff, and I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. I don't know. What? I don't even drink that much beer, and it would be some sort of microbrew.
What's your favorite American beer, James?
Bud Light.
That's a lie, and you know it.
I don't even know.
I think James has the same problem as me. It's like I get something different every time I go out because I'm like, what do you
don't-
have that's local?
Bud Light
Yeah.
Lime.
What? I don't actually know. I
Yeah,
don't-
like I always like to try different stuff.
Yeah. There's not one I have. Like, I have favorite local beers, but I don't have any favorite, like, American beers. So I really don't know.
Actually, when there's a beer I had at the Tap House in Seattle many years ago, which was the beer that made me start to like beer.
Oh, okay.
I was like, all right, everyone's talking about this beer thing. I've never liked it, so I'll try I got like the flight of beers, which is like four beers of the bartender's suggestion, and one of them was I don't actually remember the brewery, but it was the Barley Flats Oatmeal Stout by whatever brewery
I've
is
heard that. Yep.
down there. Anyway, it was really, really good.
All right. We have a lot of questions we should get going
All
here.
right, crank them out.
Do you have a favorite or at least fond memories of Mystery Science Theater 3000?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I've answered this one so many times that
What is your just favorite episode go? Or one that just came to your mind?
Rousdower.
Okay.
yeah, that's the one with Rousdower is the Final Sacrifice.
Let's just leave it there. And
Okay, Space Mutiny.
Santa Claus Conquers the Martians.
Yeah, that one's probably my favorite.
Also Mitchell.
Mitchell. I've literally no cooking. This is Andrew. I've literally no cooking skills, but I've been left alone in the house for a week. What yummy treats can I make with ease? Hard mode. He's a vegetarian.
This would be a much more useful question if you had told me what you have.
Steamed broccoli.
Steamed broccoli?
No, that's what James suggested.
Oh.
That's what I'm suggesting he ate.
All right.
He eats.
You are a vegetarian, which means you have a whole bunch of options open to you, actually.
Pasta?
There's obviously pasta, but why not try something a little different for a while? Why don't you try and make yourself a quiche? Because quiche is delicious and filling and cheap, and you can make it once, and then you can eat it for like the next 3 nights, right?
Get yourself one of those like tender
Unless you're
flake.
ovo vegetarian.
Yeah.
Unless
Get yourself one of them.
he didn't say he was a vegan.
Yeah.
Just said he was a vegetarian.
Yeah,
So
vegetarian.
yeah, as Graham was saying, get yourself a pre-made pie crust because like we don't want to go crazy here.
That tender flake.
That tender flake, it's like $4 maybe, and take that home and follow the directions. So put some holes in it, bake it for a bit first, according to package directions. Take it out, then get it ready for your filling. That will make sure your pie crust is not soggy on the bottom. All right, so your filling. What are you going to put in there? What vegetables do you like? Basically, if you have anything like onions or garlic or anything that you're gonna like leave chopped up into fairly big parts, like broccoli, you might want to cook that a little bit first because you don't want big chunks of raw onion and garlic in your quiche. So I'll give you some ingredients and you can change them out at will. Chop up like a quarter of an onion and like a clove of garlic and saute that with a little bit of olive oil until it is translucent and cooked. This should take you anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes depending on how quickly you cook it. All right, then take in a microwave safe bowl, take some frozen broccoli, which you probably already have, or some frozen peas, which you might also have, or any kind of frozen vegetable, really.
Recommend peas.
Peas is really good. Broccoli is also delicious in quiche, though. And then
Give peas a chance.
cook it a little bit, just so it's not frozen. It doesn't have to be completely cooked, but just basically defrost it. Then back in your pan, take out your onions, but leave all the oil in there and dump in like 5 or 6 mushrooms and saute those up and drain off some of the water that comes out of the mushrooms into a bowl. Toss all your vegetables together and set them aside. Now, in your bowl where you have your mushroom juice, essentially, break in, I'm going to say 3 eggs and add a splash of either milk, which you probably have, or cream, which you may or may not have, and it's really optional. Cream will make a richer, thicker quiche, but it is not necessary. Add salt and pepper to taste, and whip all that stuff up. You're going to need to add a fair amount of salt and pepper and you can't really taste it, I guess, but because you're seasoning your entire quiche and your vegetables to this. So add, I would say, at least a 1/4 teaspoon of each. Mix all that stuff up and then take, let's say, about 1/2 cup of a grated cheese of your choice. Cheddar is good. Edam is good. Swiss is good. Parmesan, maybe not so much. Blue cheese could be a little weird. Swiss is, like I said, whatever you happen to have on hand or prefer. And then mix it into your egg mixture. Now dump in your vegetables, which should also be nice and cold because you don't want to like start cooking your egg. And mix all that up in together. And then dump that all into your pie crust. And then put it in the oven at 350 for about 45 minutes or until you insert a knife in and it comes out clean. Let it come out of the oven. Let it cool down a bit. Cut into like thirds. Serve with a side salad. Delicious meal.
Awesome. Someone would best make that.
I'm surprised that the number of eggs. It seems like a low number of eggs, but
well, because like what
I guess it depends on how big a quiche you're making. But.
Well, my quiche recipes are always like heavy on the vegetables rather than heavy on the egg. Like if you
the egg is there more as a binding agent.
Like I often make the lazy version of that, which is scrambled eggs with tons of vegetables in them. But you're usually using like 3 or 4 eggs, but that's just for one meal. For me. Yeah,
like when I say broccoli, I mean you probably are going to actually want like 1.5 cups of cooked broccoli in that. So it's going to be like heavy broccoli, low eggs, which makes it very healthy.
All right, moving on. Chris, the answer is yes. Will there be more Commodore Hustle in the following year?
Yes.
Emily, are you all starting to save up on sleep backlog now that Desert Bus is only a month away? How excited are you for the prizes this year over past years?
I'm super excited for the prizes this year.
The prizes are super good.
Yeah, the prizes are always getting better, especially the craft along. Craft along improves every year. As for saving up sleep, no.
I don't think your body works that way.
Yeah, it can't do that. Jim says, in the loading times, we see shots of various people on boom duty and your field recording techniques. But I'm curious about any thoughts you have on dealing with audio in the editing process to make things sound as good as possible. Also, are there any horror stories about trying to fix bad audio?
We do the best we can. Like, audio is probably the part that we are the least, like,
good at,
educated at. Like, me personally, when I'm editing, it's the part that I am the least good at, and I'm just glad that our stuff sounds as good as it does. And I mean, I'm happy with that.
Our biggest problems with audio are generally around like having big air conditioning systems near where we need to do our stuff.
Yeah.
Or birds just being assholes.
Being not able to deal with the surrounding sounds, basically.
Yeah.
Or some people not speaking loud enough.
Cam and Alex.
And then Alex is such a loud guy normally, but you put a mic in front of him.
Or also the thing with like, if you're doing a really wide shot, how to actually get the guy with the boom, how to get the boom where it needs to be without getting it in shot is kind of tricky.
Horror stories of audio editing.
Oh my god, I have a good one, and I'll keep it short. When we were editing Junk in the Trunk, we needed to obviously just have Beige and Cam driving along with Paul's audio, a clean recording that he did in the studio. Now the thing is, to time out how they were reacting, Paul was in the back of the car reading his lines. Now, the issue was there was a lot of Foley from the car that needed to be there, like the sound of the engine, them opening doors, clipping on seatbelts, that kind of thing, right? Trying to get that with Paul's audio, with Paul's like scratch audio, basically was holy crap. It was like one of like the most like trying to like clip together little car opening sounds from like one part of the video and like car door closing sounds from like another part of the video to stitch them together into an open and close sound in the middle of the video, and like trying to get like enough uninterrupted engine noise that I could loop it where it didn't sound like it was it was a loop, but it was enough that, you know, there's a clean just them driving noise and like cars stopping and starting, and just trying to get that was
Yeah, because I mean, like, I was trying to sort of read it under my breath, but it's still going to come across.
it still came across very clearly. So yeah, that was like
The most recent one I can remember is in Meat Fist's Terrible Choice. I think this was another option of just, another instance of just that someone didn't push record, and the audio of James and Kathleen in the car outside the hospital at the end of the video. We just didn't have it. And I think like I sent you, like a YouTube file of that clip, because this was like Sunday night, and I was like, shit, James, can you just like record this on your mic at home? And so we got James to record his and Kathleen to record hers. And luckily at your place and my place, we both have the same microphone.
Yeah.
And so at least that sounded consistent.
we had to do reshoots on Badly Broken because of missing audio as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's
we've had a bad run.
That's probably the biggest problem we have related with audio, is because we have the audio recorded on a separate device than the camera. It has to be started and stopped at the same whenever we start and stop the camera, and
we can't just record it directly onto the camera because it would sound bad.
Yeah, and so it's unfortunate. You know, it's one of those things where, you know, you have to do it in the course of a shoot. You have to do that maybe 50 times. And if you don't do it once, then that whole thing can mess up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next.
Ellie, are you kerballing some space programs? No,
I've never played it, but I hear it's really good.
I've heard it's pretty fun. I've watched some people stream. Rory, the answer is yes. Will you still be doing Unskippable next year?
Yep.
No question. Just wants to thank Lur. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Michael. Besides MTG, this is James. Do you have any favorite board/card games?
Ooh.
I have a lot. There's a lot of awesome board games.
A lot of board games, yeah.
Card games, not so much.
I like all the D&D games.
All the
like obviously Lords of Waterdeep.
Lords of Waterdeep is freaking amazing.
The Dungeoneering games.
Yeah, so like Legend of Drizzt, Wrath of the Shardalon.
Thank you.
And the other one.
Yeah, the Lords of Waterdeep is probably the
Lords of Waterdeep
the last
is one
like
of the
new
best.
game that I kind of got into.
There's an expansion now. I got to get that.
Ooh.
Betrayal at the House on the Hill.
Yep, very good game.
I like cribbage.
Cribbage is fun. I'm not kidding. Cribbage is fun.
Sort of a card and board game.
Every time Kathleen suggests that we play Gin Rummy, I have to get her to remind me how to play, because I always forget.
It's mahjong with cards.
Jim,
but I don't know how to play mahjong, even though I have like 2 mahjong sets. My grandmother was big into collecting mahjong sets.
Jamie asks, animal, vegetable, or mineral?
Animal.
Mineral.
Vegetable. Tiebreaker, Paul.
Mineral.
Damn.
Yes, that's right.
Mike asks, hard or soft shell taco? Soft.
Soft.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like
I don't
hard shell tacos, except for the breaking part. Like, I like eating hard shell tacos, but they're fundamentally flawed as a food.
That's why Taco Bell invented the cheesy gordita crunch, Paul.
It's true.
Actually, I tried one once because I was getting a meal that's like, you get a meal and this other thing option if you want it. I was like, all right, I'll have a gordita crunch. We don't have Taco Bell here, so it was like, all right, I'll try this novelty, and it's brilliant. It's a hard shell taco that is bonded with a layer of cheese to a soft shell taco on the outside.
Yeah.
I see.
So it still
integrity.
crunches, but it doesn't crumble into bits when you bite it.
Yeah.
I can get with that.
Those innovators over there at Taco Bell.
Yeah. Josh asks, what is the largest amount you've seen a mine grind for?
Oh,
I don't remember. I feel like I've seen a mine grind for like 6 before.
Oh, more than that, surely. Isn't it? How many lines you reveal off a mine grind? 3?
4.
It's
isn't
4.
No, that's. No, because that's
No,
that's,
wait.
that's-
Minecraft's an X spell, right?
That's Mirko. Yeah.
Yeah. So
But
I saw
it's X lands.
Yeah, so
it's-
I
for
saw
like
X,
six
I
lands?
6 lands, but it
Woof.
milled for like 15 cards or something like
I think
that.
it was probably
a
one of
lot.
the ones on our stream.
Probably,
Actually,
yeah. Jack, what is your favorite waffle topping? Strawberry and ice cream.
ice cream.
Not ice cream.
Whipped
Cream.
Okay, I was like ice cream.
I mean, I do. Ice cream is fine. I mean, whatever.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of fruit plus whipping cream.
Yeah, fruit and whipping cream is where I'm going to come down on
fruit
this.
and syrup.
All right. Erica, what is the biggest surprise from your Kickstarter?
That nobody would take rejected backer tier.
Follow
that's not a
up
surprise.
is: are you disappointed no one got the We Play shirts?
Yes.
We're very disappointed.
I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised at all.
Biggest surprise actually is that we sold out of the
Executive producer
Executive
slot.
producer.
Yeah, that
was a
probably
surprise.
the biggest surprise.
I think I don't know if surprise is the right word, but I think something I absolutely never expected was the outpouring of stories and thanks from people who say that we have helped them in like very deep personal ways by doing our funny stuff. You know, who are going through shitty times in their lives, and the idea that it's the last season of Sketches, again, not that we're going anywhere, but that it's the last season of Sketches has really sort of made many people be like, hey, you know, I started watching you guys in 2005, and you got me through some rough times, and there's been a lot of those stories, and it's been
it's
that
also
was surprising.
sort of coincided with the 10th anniversary.
Yeah,
so-
exactly. So there's been a lot of
that
emotions flowing our way.
that thread on the forums is really neat.
Yeah.
I am from the UK. This is Blurry Tree. I'm from the UK, and in the second year of my degree, there's an option to study in Edmonton for a term. I was wondering if any of you knew what the city was like to live in, or if there is any subtle or major differences between Canada and the UK that one should know of. Well, there's a lot of big differences.
If Beej was here, because Beej used to live in Edmonton,
Yep.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, if you
Nope.
go from
Well, okay.
if you go from the UK,
I wouldn't recommend moving to Edmonton to live there. A term or a semester.
Yeah, and
Yeah, that's fine.
Now Edmonton has a lot of cool things going for it. If you like cold weather, Edmonton
Well,
is really
if-
pretty in the winter.
If
Right?
chances
There's,
are
like
this
skating and skiing and cross country skiing especially, and you can drive a few hours. You can go to the Rockies. Like all this is really cool if you are from the United Kingdom.
Yeah, but you wouldn't want to go there like if this term is over like from like December to like basically the winter months, that's kind of crap.
Yeah,
like
'cause there's
Edmonton
so
is
much snow.
cold, like really
Very
cold. Like not like I'll put on a jacket and wander around outside cold. Like
Like,
do
we're
not
talking,
go
like,
outside.
minus 30
Yeah,
cold.
don't go outside.
There's actually a whole thing in Edmonton to make it so that people don't have to go outside.
Yeah.
I know that's in Calgary. I think
Oh,
plus
is
both
50.
both have something
Yeah,
like that. I
like
think.
Edmonton is very, very cold in the winter and
very
very
windy.
windy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is not now, but if you don't mind the cold, I don't think that would be a problem. And there's lots of really cool stuff that Edmonton has going for it as well.
Like a big mall.
But
Yeah.
it does have the biggest mall in Canada. So there's
And
that.
with like an amusement park and water slides, which are really fun. And like, the people in Edmonton are really nice, and there's lots of cool stuff to do there. Like there's neat restaurants and stuff. Differences, Canadians are subtly different than people from the UK.
different accent.
Yeah, different accent. Pants here are things you wear on your legs, not on your dick. Let's see. what
You'll be
else?
very confused by pubs, because they're just like restaurants that also have a bar. Like the whole like the pub culture. Like I love the way it works in the UK. It's like you go up to the bar, you order everything from the bar, you get your drinks there, and then you can go and sit down at a table and they'll bring you the food. And that's the extent of the sort of wait service that you have. Whereas here they're just like restaurants. You go in, you get seated, the waitress comes around,
It's
you
like
take your
pub
order.
style restaurant.
Yeah.
Sort of what they call it. Yeah.
And there's the great shorthand in England of you go up to the bar, you get a drink. If you stay at the bar, that's because you want to chat. If you go up to the bar and get your drink and go away and sit down, it's I just want to sit here and drink.
yeah.
But it's totally different.
All right. Elias says
Let us know if you do end up moving to Edmonton. It's nowhere near us.
not moving, just going there to
Or-
study for a term.
Let us know if you visit and
Yeah.
how it turns out. And I'm sure some people in the forums who are actually from there can tell you more about
I
it.
think he should do it.
Elias asks, what are your thoughts on Hearthstone? I'm the only one who can really answer this. I haven't played a lot of it, and I haven't played since they did the major reset. But from what I have played so far, it's a lot of fun.
It looks neat.
It seems like a very fun casual game that I would play from time to time. It's not something that would replace Magic for me. So
I don't think they're trying to, though.
No, I don't.
no, I don't think so.
I don't
either.
think so either. But there's a lot of people online who are like, "Oh my God, Magic's so screwed now that Blizzard's is making a card game." And it's like, no, it's not. It's not even remotely. No, it's not.
It's definitely it's a definite competitor to Duels.
Oh yeah, for
And
sure.
That's for sure. But all right, Kyle says, for the future of Iron Stomach Challenge, what ingredients are you hoping to see? Maybe a returning favorite.
I don't want to say anything because we have to get the surveys from the Kickstarter in.
Yeah.
So
we don't want to biase people.
We'll
Just
see.
keep
We'll
them.
see.
Yeah, just keep in mind with the surveys that we can't do anything that's like poisonous, and 2, we can't do anything that we can't actually like physically get here in Canada.
Yeah. So, like, if you research some like disgusting rare Icelandic delicacy, unless we can reasonably purchase it somewhere, like unless we can source it, we can't use your idea. So, I mean, like, we have access, like, it's definitely a foodie culture around here, so we have access to a lot of, like,
Remind me to tell
rare
you
stuff.
after the podcast because I don't want to say it on the air about a food that I discovered we can get in Vancouver.
Sweet. Like, yeah, we have access to lots of food, but do not pick the world's most obscure thing because
right.
we may not be able to get it.
Luke, dear Paul, will you ever regrow your beard so Valve can make Half-Life 3?
Paul's
Just say no.
Maybe, I don't know.
No, you fool! You don't
Valve,
say maybe.
No, if Valve contacted me and said, "If you regrow your beard, we'll make Half-Life 3," I think I probably.
Are
would.
you kidding? You could hold the gaming world at rant. You could get so much money.
I would be like, I would
Jules.
just do like a live feed and be like, "So, what do you guys think?"
And
Should
it's
I
just
do
like
it?
hold up the razor. Oh, that's another couple days.
Yeah.
Usually in your podcasts or on Feed Dump, when an example of someone is made, you usually pick the name Dave. Is there a special Dave in Loading Ready Run's life?
No, it's just a good
It's just
name.
a Dave. It's just a
Steve,
name.
we use a lot too.
Steve. I mean, Dave goes back to high school. We
Yeah,
used to say Dave a lot in high school.
We can't use Steve as much anymore, though, because now we know Steve Dengler. We don't want him to think that we're making fun of him.
Well, actually relating to the Kickstarter. So the tier, the $3,000 tier where you get to like just come and hang out with us. We called that the Warriors of Darkness, and then when we were making it, we were like, well, the Warriors of Darkness from the video The Truce. If you haven't seen that sketch, go check out the Truce. And the whole joke was the Warriors of Darkness and their roommate Steve, because he was just a guy. And so we were like, oh, then we'll make it, because all the tiers are like named after people, 64K's Roadie or Definitely a Legal Boy or something. So we were like, oh, well, we'll name the executive producer tier Steve. Right? Because that, the Warriors of Darkness and Steve. And then we were like, let's not do that because we know a guy named Steve who is known for being sort of a nerd philanthropist and backing Kickstarters. And we don't want to make it look like we're going like, hey, Steve, guess which one you should back?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So-
kind of weird.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right.
For the record, he did back the Kickstarter and not at that tier.
True story. Richard says, I don't know how anybody can answer this. Can any of you remember the first video you watched on YouTube?
No.
No, not even a little bit. I don't even really remember much before YouTube. Really.
Before yesterday.
There's not a lot of...
No, I have no
No.
idea.
No idea.
Sorry.
Just saw the day one Q&A for the Escapist Expo today, and would love it if you turned Sophisticated Gamers Club into a crap shot, if not a full-length sketch.
I don't even remember what that was now. And it was only like a week and a half ago.
You should probably go rewatch that.
Apparently so.
It was more than a week and a half ago, wasn't it?
It was like
Yeah, it's
2 weeks ago. Sophisticated Gamers Club. Yeah, it would have been tomorrow.
Yep.
2 weeks ago.
And then what's the most effective way of sending you guys a script?
Email.
Email.
My email is graham@loadingreadyrun.com.
And this is from Zachariah.
There's
And
on the subject of scripts, though, there is a thread on the forums about scripts that has a big thing of sort of disclaimer information about what it means if you want to send us a script. So please read that first.
so this guy's coworker would like to know, what would we do if the moon base was suddenly infested with small furry creatures that weren't cats, possibly wallabies?
That sounds adorable.
Hooray!
Where would you hide all your hats?
Whatever.
All right.
Cuddles. I will cuddle all of them.
Aren't wallabies like little kangaroos?
Yeah, they're like miniature kangaroos.
Oh my god, I'm gonna cuddle all of them to mice.
That could be kind of dangerous, though.
I don't.
I think
care.
wallabies are less aggressive.
Cuddle, 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 cuddle.
All right,
I
Ryan.
could be wrong.
Ryan would like to know: do we ever go back and watch old Loading Ready Run videos? Yes.
Oh yeah.
Occasionally.
Occasionally, when we need to like check something, and then we're always like surprised by the quality.
We need to.
Sometimes
I watch them just
We need
'cause
to.
sometimes.
We need to do based on having Bijan Cam in the room during the countdown live stream. We need to do newer crew members react to older videos and show like Cam and Bij like a bunch of season 1 stuff.
If you were to
Cam
do
just
more,
quits.
if you were to do more daily drops, what new things would you like to drop?
I would like to drop a variety of things while on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Things on fire. More things filled with cream. That was a good one.
Things from higher up.
Yes.
Yeah, I would like to drop
We'll get
things
that
filled
television.
with dry ice.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We'll get that TV eventually.
Austin.
No, not filled with dry ice.
Yeah.
Previously dipped in liquid nitrogen.
Oh yeah, that too. I have a whole variety of incredibly destructive ideas.
All right. Austin would like to know what our favorite Homestar Runner quote is.
I think the one that I use the most is actually a Hamsar quote, which is just the "I do what I'm told."
My favorite that I there's not really any situation where you actually get to use it, but I like the also related, not a Hamsar quote, but related with the crack stuntman being like, I could have eaten a pony.
Yeah.
No, wait,
Yeah.
that's a senior card gauge that says, he's
Yeah.
like, and then,
I could have eaten a pony.
yeah.
Yeah. The what? There's another one. Oh, of course. One that comes up a lot, just in relative to other quotes, is the whenever someone flicks a light switch. Of course, it's just, hey, now. We have that light switch installed.
Right.
Yeah.
Light switch red.
Yeah.
Homestar.
Good old Homestar.
Miss them.
I don't think I have a favorite quote. I just like Homestar.
Yeah. If you were a card inside Theros, what would you be?
A card in Theros?
I guess, yeah. I'm gonna go with the Sphinx with the sweet beard.
Nice.
The was it?
Prognostic Sphinx.
Yes, prognostic Sphinx.
100-handed one.
100-handed one.
I'd get a job as a goalie.
All right. I think that's cheating.
I mean, Wingsteed Rider gets to ride around on a flying horse. That's pretty cool.
I
Yep.
think I would be the traveling philosopher because it doesn't seem like it's a very violent job.
Nice. All right.
Sure.
And finally,
Of course, in the context of magic, he's like, I'm a traveling philosopher. Gets eaten by like some
Cyclops.
ridiculous thing.
the last question. What is your favorite municipality in northeastern Nambia?
New Steveland?
New Steveland.
Is that... Are we all looking it up right now?
Hold on,
Yep.
quickly.
All right, I'll let you guys look it up.
I refuse to
Nambia,
look it up.
Nambia.
What's brown and rhymes with Snoop? Dr. Dre.
You still had your bad jokes thing open?
Yes.
I've
Demographics.
heard that one before.
No,
That's a
wait.
good one.
How do you find Will Smith when he's lost in the snow? Look for the Fresh Prince.
That one's good. I like that one.
So you're not looking
So
up.
these are
Nambia
some of
at the
these
moment,
jokes
are
are
you?
disgusting and like not. They are horrible, and I should not.
So James is looking up Nambia, and you're looking at terrible jokes.
I'm not seeing where.
I'm killing time while he looks it up.
A guy who got fired from the bumper cars is taking his employers to court. He's claiming funfair dismissal.
Wait, did she say, was it northeastern?
Yeah, Nambia.
I went on a trip to a postcard
This is
factory
one of those
last
things
week.
like there is no
It was okay,
Northeastern
but
Nambia.
nothing to write home about.
Terrible.
Kavango. Let's go with that. Kavango. Kavango.
All right, there we go. That's our favorite municipality.
I assume it
Oh,
looks more
all
like
these-
it'd be a province, but maybe they call them municipalities. Who knows? I'm just going to go with that.
My
all right.
God, all these Michael Jackson jokes are not okay.
And
All right.
with that,
And we're done.
thanks
Doot doot
so
doot
much.
doot doot doot. Oh wait, that's not my fanfare. That's,
you forgotten your
that's
fanfare?
Nardwar the Human Serviette.
Have you forgotten your... It's shaving a haircut.
Oh, it's also what he plays.
Yeah, but shaving... Anyway.
All right, hold on. No, I can almost remember it.
You can play us out after I say goodbye. Thank you all for watching and or listening. Please do let us know responses to any of the things we may have brought up in the comments. And we look forward to speaking with you again next week.
In which you can ask your questions on Twitter.
Yes. And go for it, Kathleen. That's also not your...
Yeah, that wasn't it.
This is the extendo mix.
But it's not even part of the original mix. You can probably just stop this. Paul, by not hitting the stop button, you're just enabling her.
I'm the best. One more verse.
No.
I will keep going as long as you do.